Okay. You're on.
Cool, cool. So just let me know when people start tuning in and I'll start rambling.
You go right ahead.
Perfect. All right. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our 20-minute yoga class. This will be the last one that we're having, at least for the month of July, maybe August. So, milk it for all it's worth. But you'll be able to access any of the previously recorded sessions, not only with me, but with anybody else that's been doing online programming through the library. So you can always go back at any time and check that stuff out or re-access it if you'd like. But for now, let's just start in a seat. Maybe close the eyes for just a second. Tune into the body, the breath. And notice where in the body you're breathing. So are you breathing into the chest? Are you breathing into the belly? Does the breath fill mostly into the front side of the body, or do you maybe breathe a little more into the back? And then see if you can start to deepen the breath just a little bit. So we're starting to try to breathe into the places where we're not already. So if you're breathing into the belly, maybe you can welcome the breath up to the chest. If you're breathing into the chest, maybe you can encourage the breath to flow down into the belly. Until we're breathing with the whole torso, bottom to top, front to back, and side to side. And then on an inhale, we'll use the arms to reach out to the sides and up overhead. And as you do that, maybe you can imagine you're pulling the breath up through the body. Then as you exhale and release the hands, maybe you can let the breath flow back down. So maybe you can breathe in, belly, ribs, and chest. And then maybe you can breathe out, chest, ribs, and belly last. So we'll do that a few more times. Just breathe and flow at your own pace. Big breaths in, full breaths out. Go ahead, do one more of those. Big breath in, really fill the torso with the breath. And then as you breathe out, maybe you can soften the shoulders. Maybe you can engage the low belly. And then on an exhale, we'll gently twist across to one side. On an inhale, float back up through center. And then as you breathe out, twist across to the other side. So big breath in, float up. Full breath out as you twist across. Let's do this just a few more times. Breathe and move at your own pace. So as you twist, we're really focusing on that exhale and engaging the low belly. And then on the inhale, we just float back up through center. Maybe you open up through the heart a little bit. And the next time you come to a side, we'll hold it there. So just take some deep breaths. As you inhale, maybe you can sit up really tall. And then as you breathe out, again, see if you can engage low belly and start to twist around from the core just a little more. Start to turn the chin to look as far behind you as you can. Take a deep breath. And then as you breathe in, we'll float the hands up. And as you breathe out, we'll gently twist across to the other side. Again, as you inhale, maybe you can sit up tall. And as you breathe out, engage low belly, twist from the core. Maybe you can start to turn the chin a little further behind you. Take a deep breath. And on an inhale, we'll float back up. And on an exhale, go ahead and release. From here, we'll just start to walk the hands forward, come into a tabletop position. So we have the wrists stacked right beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. And then on an inhale, we'll roll the shoulders back, lift the tailbone and the heart. On the exhale, we'll round the spine and look down to the thighs. So again, inhale to lift the heart. Really try and roll the shoulder blades together and down the back. And then exhale, really draw that low belly in and up towards the spine. Just a couple more rounds of this. And then on an inhale, we'll return to a neutral spine. And as you breathe out, we'll release the hips back towards the heels and the forehead towards the floor for child's pose. Inhale, float back up to tabletop. So we're finding hands and knees. And then exhale back to child's pose again. Let's do this 2 more times. Big breath in, float up to the top, and full breath out as you melt back. Last time, inhale up, and exhale to child. Now this time, inhale, float up to tabletop, then we'll curl the toes under and press back into downward dog. So we're lengthening the tailbone to the sky, reach the hips towards the back of the mat. And then when you're ready, go ahead, inhale back to fours and exhale to child. So we'll do that a few more times. Inhale to fours, exhale to down dog. Inhale to fours and exhale to child's pose again. Last round, big breath in, float up to fours, full breath out, find downward dog. Inhale to fours and exhale to child. Take a second when you get here. Tune in, feel the body, the breath. And notice, where are you breathing? And just like we did at the beginning of class, see if you can welcome the breath into the spaces of the body where it isn't. So if you're breathing mostly into the back, maybe you can welcome the breath a little further forward into the torso. If you're breathing into the chest, maybe you can reach it down into the belly. Just take one more deeper, fuller breath here. Really fill the whole torso as much as you can. And then on an inhale, let's float back up to tabletop and exhale into downward dog again. This time we'll walk it out. So you might like to pedal the feet. You could turn the head from side to side. So there's no right or wrong here. There's just feeling the body, trying to wake up any muscles that need to be woken up, stretch out any muscles that are feeling tight. And then when you're ready, either from downward dog or from tabletop, reach your left foot up to the top of the mat. Then turn your back foot flat at about a 45-degree angle and square the hips. Now make sure you square the hips here. That's really important to maintain space around the sacrum and the low back. So then once you've got those hips square, let's inhale and float the arms out to the sides and up. So we're coming into a warrior one here. So again, we want the hips square. If you need to, you could actually take the hands onto the hips and manually square them forward. And then as we breathe in, we'll really reach the fingertips up to the sky. As you breathe out, we'll soften the shoulders. Then on your next exhale, we'll bend the elbows and feel like you're pressing the heart forward. On the inhale, reach the fingertips back up, straighten the arms, and exhale to bend again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale and bend. Take a big breath here into the heart space, really fill the torso. And then as you exhale, we'll bring palms together at heart center. Inhale, open. Exhale, press palms together. Last one. Inhale, open. Exhale, press. Then we'll keep the hands here And as you breathe in, feel like you're lifting the heart all the way up into the palms. Take a deep breath. Then as you inhale, we'll start to straighten that front leg. Keep the hips square. Then your choice. You can either reach the fingertips all the way down towards the floor, or you could interlace the fingers behind the back and work the arms overhead. It's up to you. Just take a moment, breathe wherever you want to be, either hands overhead or hands down at the floor. Let the back of the neck be soft. Then from here, take your back foot and step it in so that way the arch of the back foot is in line with the heel of the front foot. So before we had our toes turned out at about a 45-degree angle, now they're pointing straight out towards the edge of the yoga mat. Then from here, you can take your hand onto your shin, opposite hand comes onto the hip. As you inhale, we'll roll that shoulder open so it stacks on top of the bottom one. And then you might like to inhale and float the hand up. Take a deep breath here. Really imagine that you're breathing through the open side of the torso. And then on your next inhale, you might like to reach the fingertips all the way overhead. Come into a big side stretch here. Take one more deep breath. And then as you breathe out, we'll release the hand to the hip, look down towards your foot, and then inhale and scoop back up to standing. Then from here, we'll just step the back foot up to the top of the mat. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So we're reaching the left foot back. Again, we want it to be at about a 45-degree angle. Hips are square to the front of the mat. Front knee is bent, so the knee is stacked on top of the ankle. Then as you breathe in, we'll float the palms up to the sky. Take a deep breath here. Really anchor down through the feet. Keep those hips square towards the front of the mat. And then on an exhale, we'll bend the elbows, really press the heart forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale and bend. Last one, inhale, reach. Exhale, bend. Take a deep breath here, really fill that heart space. And then exhale, palms to heart center. Inhale to open. Exhale, press. Last one, inhale, open. Exhale, press. We'll hold the palms here now. So as you breathe in, maybe you feel like you're lengthening the heart up towards the hands. Keep the shoulders soft. Then on an inhale, we'll straighten that front leg. And then your choice, you could interlace the fingers behind the back and start to fold. Or you could just reach the hands straight down to the floor. It's entirely up to you. Just take a couple deep breaths through the back of that leg. And then when you're ready, we'll bring that back foot in so the arch comes in line with the heel of the front foot. We're coming into prep for triangle pose. Your hand comes onto the ankle or onto the shin. Opposite hand comes to the hip. As you inhale, we'll roll that top shoulder open. And then when you feel ready, you might decide to extend the top arm. Take a deep breath here. And then on your next inhale, if you'd like, you can reach the fingertips all the way overhead. Come into a big side stretch. See if you can breathe through the open side of the waist. And on an exhale, we'll release that top hand back to the hip, look down, and inhale to scoot back up to standing. From here, we'll step the back foot up to the top of the mat, As you breathe out, melt forward and fold. Step both feet straight back, find downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here. And then when you're ready, go ahead and release and come onto your back. So when you get onto your back, you might like to hug your knees in towards your chest. Maybe you want to rock side to side a couple of times. Then release your left foot down onto the mat. So we want the ankle stacked roughly beneath the knee. And then we'll cross the right ankle onto the left thigh. I call this dude watching TV pose. It's like you got a remote and you got the legs crossed, right? Then from here, take your hands and wrap them around the back of your left leg and hug that left thigh in towards your chest. So you'll start to feel a stretch through that right side glute. Take a deep breath here. And then if you'd like, you might like to extend your left heel up to the sky. Take another deep breath. And then when you're ready, you can release. So bend the knee, place the foot flat on the mat, and then we'll switch the cross of the legs. So the right foot comes to the floor, left ankle crosses on top of the right thigh. Again, we really want that knee opening up here as opposed to like having it closed in. And then we'll bring that right thigh into the chest. Take a little stretch. Take a deep breath. Then if you'd like, you could press the right heel up to the sky. Take a deep breath here. And then we'll release. Lower that right foot down to the mat. Then release the left foot down. Come into prep for bridge pose. So you can just have the hands resting down at your sides. And on an inhale, we'll scoop the hips way up to the sky. Just be mindful, when the hips come up, we want the knees stacked on top of the ankles. So if you have the heels too far in, they'll start to come out over the toes and it puts pressure on the knee joint. So try and avoid that if you can. So again, we want good stacking with the ankles and the knees. And then as you breathe out, we'll release the hips down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, float the hips up. Exhale, release them down. Last one. Big breath in, float up. And full breath out as you release. Now this time we're going to hold it. So big breath in, float up. And you might like to just stay right here. You might like to focus on pressing the hips to the sky, really open up through the heart. Or if you want, you could interlace the fingers together behind the back and then press the arms into the floor and really bring those hips up to the sky. Make sure you're keeping even weight distribution in the feet. Take another deep breath. Maybe you can fill the whole torso with the inhale. And then when you're ready, we'll release. Give those knees a little squeeze back into the chest. Ask yourself if there's any last movements that your body might like. Maybe you want to extend the heels and bend the knees in a couple of times. Maybe you want to do a lying twist. And then maybe do the other side. Just whatever feels good. Take about 10 or 15 seconds here. Do any last little movements that your body might like this morning. And then when you feel ready, you can extend the legs straight out onto the mat. Relax the backs of the hands out at your sides with palms facing up. And start to settle in for your Shavasana. use this time here in Shavasana to let the body relax, to let the breath become effortless. And I encourage you to rest here for a few minutes, at least maybe 3 minutes or so. And we will be back at 9:30 for a relaxation and meditation session. So I hope you can join us. If not, have a great day, and hopefully I will see you sometime, maybe in the fall. All right, bye.